Well, it's finally happening. Electronic Arts is rolling out the first phase of what they call the Battlefield Labs. This is supposed to be kind of like their version of a beta test for the upcoming Battlefield game, a stress test, if you will, to give few players, access to the game ahead of time and just be able to really just stress test it as much as possible before it's released, which is, I believe, next year, March 2026. It's going to be very exciting to see what this game has in store. But it didn't take long until people managed to leak alpha footage of this game to the internet, despite the fact that there was non-disclosure agreements put into place. So whoever did it, I mean, you're really putting yourself in jeopardy. I'm sure they'll do their own little internal investigation and figure out who it is. But the leaks are out. Gameplay footage is out. People are talking about it. So I might as well jump in as well and discuss what I've personally seen. Now, some of these leaks are particularly significant as they show a lot of footage that was shrouded in secrecy. It was kind of hinted in a shorter teaser a while back. And so now this, I think, would help shape the expectations for Battlefield fans, because the reason why they even came out with the Battlefield Labs from Electronic Arts is because of the disastrous launch of Battlefield 2042. When that game came out, had so many problems. It just was not optimized. So many bugs, technical issues. It crashed, and it just didn't do all that great, to be honest. Even till now, I don't think Battlefield 2042 has ever gained the momentum they needed, not at the scale of other competitors like Call of Duty. So let's look at the leaked footage. It showcased several important elements that highlight the direction that the developers are taking. One of the most notable aspects is the return to modern day warfare. They're not going to go for World War II, World War I setting, or near in the future. They're staying in the modern warfare setting, reminiscent of Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. And what also is interesting is that this time around, perhaps one of the theories that people have when they were looking at the footage is the amount of player density in the maps themselves in the gameplay that was shown. Perhaps a 128 player match, which could be plausible. I'm not sure if they're gonna pull it off, but there seems to be a lot of density in terms of the players that are in the game. Of course, the leaked footage also showed a conquest mode, which is one of the franchise's staples. Appears to be returning in the gameplay shown on the urban map named Abbasid. The environment looks expansive, destructible, emphasis on the destructibility, which I hope is something that is going to pay off tremendously. Showing off buildings collapsing under the force of explosions, which could be, again, like I said, a real great hallmark for this upcoming Battlefield. There was definitely a focus here this time on the chaotic environmental destruction. And then you can also tell one other aspect to the leakage is the fact that classes are back. So you have you have the assault, you have the engineer, the support, the recon, which is something, again, has always been a traditional part of Battlefield, but with Battlefield 2042, it was changed to specialist, and people did not like that. So I'm glad that that is returning, bringing it back to what the fans wanted. Additionally, it seems that there's a lot of adjustments to the weapon mechanics. It seems to be more distinctive in terms of just the look and feel of weapons. They're certainly coming off as more. They're designed to be a lot more unique than previous games. And then, because I would say why this is important also is because the gunplay in 2042 lacked that satisfying, that the satisfying weight and precision of previous games. And so that's also something I'm sure fans are going to appreciate greatly. And I try not to be the kind of person who wants to look a little bit too much into the leaks, but I think it does show some promise. It does deliver some excitement, even though this is only early pre-alpha footage at the moment, and it doesn't mean that this is the end result of this product, of this game. What we've seen in terms of just a lot of the destructibility, the traditional classes, the gunplay, already shows that EA and DICE are perhaps in the right track this time. And the fact that they're going with this Battlefield Labs mode where they're stress testing this game, they're trying to polish it out, trying to get it optimized as much as possible before launch, is also a great thing to have, because this has happened time and time again where games at that scale launch and they suffer all sorts of technical issues and being unplayable. So please, EA, do your due diligence and make Battlefield great again. I feel the FPS genre has kind of stagnated over the years. I'd say the domineering force now in the market is Call of Duty, and it's been kind of like that for quite some time. I think Activision is quite confident with that franchise, and there hasn't really been a proper contender, a competitor that could really, I wouldn't say try to topple Call of Duty, but perhaps be at that level of quality and offer something just as enticing. Because when there is great competition, I think both parties win. The developers win, and also the gamers, who end up getting something a lot better in the long run. Big example is Marvel Rivals. When that game came out, now you see Blizzard shifting course and admitting that Overwatch 2 has become stagnant, and that they had to add new features and modes and bring in back loot boxes. It's that kind of competition that forces studios to have to thrive, to do better for their fans, for the gamers out there. But if you've gotten the chance to see some of the Battlefield pre-alpha footage leaks, which I'm sure you have, let me know. Join the conversation, share your thoughts and opinions on the matter. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with more news from the world of entertainment right here on the Evening Buzz.